Everyone has a unique story to tell. I wonder what yours is. But this is mine. It's a boy! It's a boy! I have always wanted a brother. Daddy yearned for a son who would take care of my sisters and I. He deeply loved us, but he saw us as a little weak. We would occasionally fall sick, but would get better after Grandma's magical massage with some hot soup and a good rest. But this time, it was different. Dad was really worried. My brother was very ill. He wouldn't stop crying. His body was hot, and his fingers and toes were all swollen. I thought some insects had bitten him. Dad believed it was a spiritual attack. He took us to the spiritualist in my village, who made some cuts on our faces and told my parents it would protect us. But did it? 3 months later, Dad left for a peacekeeping mission in the army and never returned. He passed away. To support the family, Mom had to travel to the city for work, and Grandma took over our care. But a year later, Grandma also passed, and we were left at the mercy of our relatives. The only person who truly cared for us was my elder sister. Then, one rainy morning, she woke up and her legs ached. Her chest felt crushed, and she felt like she was being electrocuted. So I ran to our relatives for help, and they brought in the spiritualist. Why him? Have they forgotten so soon? Can we go to the clinic instead? I pleaded with them, but they pushed me aside. They said her pain was punishment from God and demanded she confess to witchcraft. My sister? Why would she? Of course she denied it. So they locked her up in an uncompleted building. No one was allowed in. 2 days later, there was a stench on our compound. I opened the door and we found her dead on the ground. With my sister gone, I felt completely alone. When Mom visited few months later, I told her everything that had happened. She was heartbroken and disappointed, so she brought us along to the city. Not long after, my younger sister fell very ill. We rushed her to the hospital. That was the first time I heard about sickle cell disease. The doctor explained, it is a blood disorder that is inherited from both parents. A disease from both parents? But Mom and Dad were never sick. He explained that having the sickle cell trait was not a sickness, but a couple with the trait could give birth to children with sickle cell disease. He mentioned that so many people, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, live with sickle cell disease or trait, but are unaware of their status. I was shocked to learn over 7 million people live with sickle cell disease, with the majority in my part of the world. He said the numbers are even higher than this. Mom rushed to get my brother and I tested at the lab. What? We also have it? I blanked out and couldn't hear any other thing the doctor said. Our diagnosis really affected Mom. She would cry at night. She took loans to pay for our hospital bills, lost job opportunities, and sometimes a part of her salary when she missed work. I think the stress got to her, and one morning, she also passed and left us all alone. Our relatives came, separated us, and sent us to different regions. Despite being bullied in school and teased because of my yellow eyes, I wanted to continue my education to become a lawyer, but my auntie refused to take me back to school, saying she would rather invest in animals since I would soon die. She encouraged other relatives to do same with my siblings. Then one day, I fell really ill and was admitted to the hospital. This time, I was tired and wished to die because I didn't even know how I was going to pay for my medical bills. Thankfully, a preacher visited, paid the bills, and introduced me to ISCC, the International Sickle Cell Centre. I immediately called my siblings and gave them the good news. At ISCC, we learned about sickle cell disease, how the rain, hot weather, mosquito bites, and strenuous work could make us sick. We were registered into sickle cell clinics and started taking daily medications to stay healthy. Through the support of ISCC's partners, we also went back to school, and my sister found her dream job. Finally, I felt like I was not alone. I now join ISCC on their outreaches to villages, towns, schools, and the media to educate the public about sickle cell disease and get people tested for their genotype. It's been a year now, and I have barely been admitted to the hospital. Besides my family, ISCC has helped other sickle cell warriors thrive, and over 6,000 people now know their sickle cell status at no cost. But the burden of sickle cell disease is great, and no organization can single-handedly solve a global health problem that has been neglected by many governments for over 100 years. The clock is ticking, and the numbers are rising. Every day, over 500 children under the age of 5 die from sickle cell-related causes. But we also know that over 95% of these children can survive into adulthood when they have access to comprehensive healthcare. With the right care, some of our elders have thrived with sickle cell disease and have celebrated their 90th birthdays. But this has only been a handful of people. We have had enough of sickle cell disease. So today, we rise to the challenge. It's time to take action. We know what needs to be done. Join us in this fight. Someone needs to know they are not alone.